Does your vagina smell normal? Let's talk about something that most women wonder, but only a few feel comfortable asking: the smell of your vagina. The truth is that the vagina does have a natural smell, and most of the time, this is completely normal. But sometimes a change in smell could indicate a problem for you: a yeast infection, bacterial vaginosis, or even a more serious condition such as a sexually transmitted infection. So, in today's video, we'll be breaking down what is considered a normal vaginal smell, when a change in smell could indicate a problem for you, the normal or the common causes of vaginal infections, and the real signs you need to be looking out for, plus the treatments and prevention of these vaginal infections. Hi everyone, my name is Emilis Noniel. Welcome to Good Life Diary, where we talk about women's health and fertility education. Is this why you're here? Please like this video, hit on the subscribe button, and keep watching. Yes, let's make one thing clear. The vagina is not supposed to smell like perfumes or like flowers. It has a natural smell. This natural smell of the vagina is as a result of the healthy bacterial flora as well as the vaginal secretions that help to keep that area clean and odor free. The healthy bacteria, as well as the slightly acidic nature of the vagina, helps to maintain a healthy vaginal environment and prevent infection. This smell can vary at certain times depending on certain factors like what you eat. Yes, food has a way of impacting on the smell of your vagina. Also, whether or not you're pregnant at that particular point in time. Pregnant women tend to have more of vaginal discharge. So pregnancy has a way of impacting on the smell of that place. Also, the level of hygiene practices you maintain, and as well the phase of menstrual cycle you are in at that particular point in time. If you're actively bleeding, you'll agree with me that it's going to smell different. If you're ovulating and if you're post-ovulatory, that is during the two phase, the smell can as well vary. However, if you notice a strong unpleasant smell coming from that place, it could be a sign of an underlying ailment or a condition which you need to pay attention to. Common causes are, I'm going to be talking about 7 common causes of vaginal odor. But first, let's start with the one that most women and girls are very familiar with. It is not a sexually transmitted infection, and it is not necessarily as a result of poor hygiene practice, but as a result of certain practices you indulge in, but unknown to you, it is causing more harm than good. As we proceed in this video, you're going to find out what you're doing wrong and know where to make the necessary corrections. I am talking about yeast infection. This infection is also known as vaginal candidiasis. It is a fungal infection, and it arises when the balance between the good bacteria and yeast present in the vagina is disturbed through certain practices such as douching and the rest of them. Common symptoms you experience if you're down with a yeast infection include itching, mild itching, white cottages in appearance, form of vaginal discharge, as well as some form of burning and irritations in the vagina. No strong odor but a mild smell is possible. Treatment is by the use of appropriate antifungal medications and antifungal creams, as well as vaginal suppositories, depending on the severity of symptoms and whether or not you're pregnant or not. Douching can increase your chances of coming down with a vaginal yeast infection, so avoid douching. Douching is the act of trying to squeeze in some liquid into the vagina in an attempt to keep that area clean. Unknown to you, the vagina does not require anyone to keep that place clean. It is self-cleansing. As you're doing that, you're distorting the normal pH balance of that area, which is supposed to be slightly acidic. You're distorting this balance, and you're causing an overgrowth of this yeast infection, and the resultant effect is yeast infection. Another common cause I want to be talking about today is bacterial vaginosis. This is another very common cause of vaginal smell. It causes this fishy odor of the vagina. It happens when there's an overgrowth of some of the good bacteria that lives in the vagina and causing a bacterial imbalance. Symptoms include mild irritation, grayish form of vaginal discharge, and then this fishy odor, especially after sex. And then treatment is by the use of appropriate antibiotics. They're usually prescription antibiotics, so your doctor is going to prescribe all these drugs for you so that you get rid of this infection and be fine again. And then for preventive purposes, please avoid washing the vagina. Wash only the vulva. The vulva is the surrounding. You might want to watch my video on the right way to wash your vagina, so that there I listed a whole lot. Please get your hands on the video and see them. But for the purpose of this video, do not wash your vagina. Avoid the use of scented soaps and scented products. They can only cause more harm. They distort the healthy balance of good bacteria and yeast that are present in the vagina, and you either coming down with, if it's yeast that's overgrew at that particular point, you're coming down with yeast infection. And if either of those bacteria that is living in there is the one that happens to overgrow at that particular point, you're coming down with bacterial vaginosis. Also, the use of unprescribed antibiotics can also lead to getting rid of some of these bacteria, thereby leading to an imbalance of this bacteria, and you're coming down with bacterial vaginosis. Another common cause of vaginal odor I want to talk about today is trichomoniasis. This is a sexually transmitted infection caused by the parasite Trichomonas vaginalis. It presents with this yellowish to greenish form of vaginal discharge that has a very strong bad odor. If you're down with this infection, your discharge is going to be foul smelling. Treatment is quite simple with the appropriate prescription antibiotics, and you'll be fine. So once you present with some of this foul smelly discharge, the next thing you do is to meet with your healthcare provider. Once diagnosis is confirmed, you'll be placed on treatment and you'll be fine again. Another common cause of vaginal odor is forgotten tampons. Some tampons are actually more common than most women think. So many women tend to forget their tampons right inside of that place. Sometimes they thought they have previously removed it unknown to them, it is still there. So once you notice this offensive odor, it is persistent, it doesn't go away even after bathing, and you use tampons, you might want to sit down on your toilet seat or squat. You look in there, you can use your mirror to look, or you wash your hands properly, try to insert inside there, and if you feel anything, do not get scared. Just bend down, try to pull it out slowly but gently. But in any event you were not able to pull it out, or you were able to pull some, you felt like some were retained right in there, it is not something to be embarrassed about. It is not something to be ashamed of. You're not alone. It happens to so many women. You kindly meet your healthcare provider, and he or she will be in the best position to use a speculum to draw it out. And if if it has overstayed there, you might need to be placed on certain antibiotics, so that if at all there's anything that it has previously caused for you, you will be fine and without coming down with any form of infection. But if it is there, it actually gives off a very strong, rotten, unpleasant smell. Fourth common cause I want to talk about today is unhygiene matters. I mean, take your bath at least twice a day, and when you do bath, gently squat down, pat the lips of the vagina aside. That is, we're talking about the vulva. I've already said you cannot wash the vagina. So just when you squat down, you pat the lips of the vagina aside. Gently wash with plain water alone, or a very mild, colorless, and unfragrant soap, so that you don't cause irritations down there. So gently wash so that you remove retained normally there are vaginal discharges, the normal ones. You need to wash them off before it begins to smell. And when you do pee, when you urinate, wash with plain water as well. Or if you don't want to use water, you can use a soft tissue to clean, so that urine don't get to stain your underwears and cause you to have smell. So maintain proper hygiene before and immediately after sex. Before indulging in the acts, make sure you wash so that you don't forcefully introduce things inside of that place. And after the do, make sure you urinate. This can help to prevent urinary tract infection. If there's any microorganism that found its way into that place, urinating immediately helps to dislodge them without their getting to establish an infection. All right. Also, do not wear damp underwears. They have a way of retaining moisture and causing that place to smell. The fifth cause I want to talk about today is over cleansing. Just like poor hygiene is bad, too much cleansing of that area too is bad. I was talking about personal hygiene. I said wash the vulva. Do not wash the vagina. Any attempts to wash the vagina with products, soaps, or even plain water alone, you're calling on an imbalance of the normal flora and good bacteria that is present there. And also, you're trying to distort the normal pH balance of that area. So, the vagina, just like every other internal organ, does not require you to keep it clean. It is self cleansing. Actually, the best way to keep the vagina clean is to leave it alone to cleansing itself. At this juncture, I think we're doing justice to this course. Please like this video, click on that subscribe button if you haven't done so earlier, and join this family. We make more of videos like this almost on a weekly basis. Thank you. So let's continue. So many products in the market that promises to tighten the vagina once you use it to wash that area. I do not know of any truth in such claims. To be on the safer side before using any of those products, feel free to speak with your doctor first. And for the benefit of people looking for tightening of the area, deep squats and Kegel exercise does a whole lot. You can give it a trial instead of using products down there that might backfire us. Another cause of vaginal odor I want to talk about today is for women who have literally turned their vagina into a pot of jollof rice. They will soon tell us if it is Ghana jollof rice or Nigerian party jollof rice. I'm talking about women who use garlic cloves right inside of the vagina. A patient had brought in sample into my facility some time ago, and the urine sample bottle contained a garlic inside of it. Obviously, she has been dealing with irritations and all of that in that place, and she has been trying to cure it with a garlic until she wasn't getting it, that she had to now come for the appropriate diagnosis. So please do not attempt to use some of all those things inside of the vagina, because sometimes they could get stuck in there, or you might forget them. You might be thinking you've removed it, not knowing you didn't remove it, or they can just get lost inside them. However, if that is your case, feel free to speak with your healthcare provider. They will have a way of bringing it out for you if you were not able to do it by yourself, because if left there, that can cause rotten smell. They can even provide a friendly environment for bad bacteria to inhabit, grow, multiply, and spread in your reproductive tract. At any point you're unsure of what is causing your vaginal odor, do not feel ashamed of that in any way. Always feel free to consult your healthcare provider, and they are going to offer you vaginal examination, and you know what the problem is, and you'll be fine. Remember, early dictation serves a whole lot in every case. Other objects that can be forgotten in the vagina include tissue papers, condom that slipped and hid inside of the vagina, and even wipes. In any case, anytime you find this out, always go for removal, because if you leave them there, they can cause rotten odor. If you're still watching up to this point, then congratulations. Let's now share some tips for vaginal health for preventive purposes. Firstly, I've said do not wash the vagina. Secondly, ask your doctor if you can use probiotics, especially after antibiotic treatment. This can help to further balance the good bacteria that is found or that lives inside of the vagina. Thirdly, stay hydrated. I cannot overemphasize the importance of drinking plenty of water. I mean, it has a way of doing a whole lot for your body. Stay hydrated. Then fourthly, do not use any form of scented product. There are scented panty liners that promises to keep the area perfumed. Please avoid them. I do not recommend them. Do not use scented soap. Do not use fragrance products or any form. All right, do not wear damp or tight nylon underwears. They have a way of making you retain moisture there, and once there has a lot of moisture, it provides a breeding ground for bad bacteria or an overgrowth of good bacteria inside of you, and that's not what we want. So summarily, yes, the vagina does have a natural smell, and most of the time this is completely normal. But if at any point you have this persistent smell that don't go away even after bathing and after your self-care routine, and something just feels off, Do not feel embarrassed for seeking help. There are a whole lot of solutions out there which can help you, and you know early dictation serves a whole lot. Always seek medical attention whenever you think you need it. If this video has helped you, please give it a like, click on the subscribe button, drop any comments, your thoughts. What is that thing you wish you knew before now? Drop it in the comment section. I love to attend to my question, and I'll see you in my next video. Thank you for watching.